My name is Anna, and I am your fantasy book bestie. Today we're going to talk about fantasy books that I've read so far, but book tag. Basically, we have prompts, and from the list of books that I've read so far this year, I'm going to select the ones that win for that category. Does that make sense? I'm gonna put here all the books that I've read so far this year. You're gonna see that I have read Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. I don't think I need to mention that, but it is the third book in the Empyrean series, and we do not know when the next one is coming out. Next one, we have 1984 by George Orwell. I consider this one a fantasy. Maybe it's more of a dystopian, but it is still fantasy. So I'm going to count it in. And it is a classic. Just a note, I heard this one as an audiobook, and Andrew Garfield was narrating it, so I might be biased. Then we have Phantasma by Kylie Smith. I hope I'm saying this correctly. And this book was a vibe. That I gotta say. It was a vibe. Then we have Blood and Steel by Helen Scheuerer. Oh my god, I am so sorry. This book is the first in the Legends of Tezmar series. And in this list, it's going to be 3 of those. So from the 14 that I've read so far, 3 are from this series, including this one. Then Vows and Ruins, same author, same series. Then I read Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. If this book needs to win an award in this book tag, because it is a great book. Then I'm counting this as fantasy because it is, in my opinion. I don't know what counts for you guys as fantasy, but for me, if it has a bit of fantasy, even though it might have other genres, it is a fantasy. So this one I'm going to count as a fantasy. It is Morning Glory Milking Farm by C.M. Nas Costa. I read this book because of one of my besties, and I was so surprised. This book is one of those that you read when you have nothing else to read and don't feel like having this amazing plot, or it's a trashy 5-star kind of book. It was not a 5-star for me, but is that type of book, you know? Then I read the famous Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. I started my journey. You will see my journey. I will film my journey reading Throne of Glass. I promise. Then I read Red Rising, the famous Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I gotta say, I heard this as a graphic audio, and so my rating just went up the charts because the graphic audio was amazing. Then I read A Stack Few by Alexis Payton. We're probably gonna talk about it. Then I read Slaying the Shadow Prince. Ooh. This is a novella from Helen Scheuerer that also belongs to the Legends of Tezmar series, but it's also a standalone. I would say if you read Legends of Tezmar series, read this book. But if you just want to read this novella, don't. I don't think you will have any impact if you haven't read the series at all and just go for the novella. Because this novella belongs to a series that a lot of authors did like slaying and then you had like the Shadow Prince, the Vampire Conqueror. You had several. But I don't recommend to read this as a standalone. Read it with the series. Then I read City of Gods and Monsters by Kayla Edwards. It is the House of Devils series. I'm not sure if I'm gonna give any title to this book. Depends on the prompts. Because it wasn't bad, but it wasn't perfect. I had a great time reading it, but it wasn't my favorite book ever, you know what I mean? Or it wasn't that impactful, I guess. Then I read Fate and Furies, so the third book in the Legends of Tensmar series. And last but not least, I read Book of Azrael. My reading vlog is on the channel if you want to check that out. So yeah, those were the books that I read this year. Fantasy books that I read this year. Let's go through the prompts and select the books to award. So the first one that I have is The Biggest Surprise. I'm gonna probably give that to Mistborn. It was a pleasant surprise. I was not expecting what it was. I also don't know what I was expecting, to be honest. It's one of those books that you see that it's too big, and so I guess I was afraid of reading it. Especially because I have never read a fantasy from a male author. So I think that also was a bit prevented me from picking it up. My partner gifted it to me, and obviously I had to read it. And once I did, I was pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed this book. I think more people should read it. Then it's Biggest Disappointment. I gotta say A Stark View. Unfortunately, how do I put this? The book was great until the end. So the end ruined the book for me entirely. I was having fun. I was actually probably a bit addicted to it until they throw you something at the end that for me was, how can I put this? Do you know when you start a book or you're reading a book and you have this vibe of the book? So let's say that the vibe of the book that the book was giving was, so they live underground. There's like a prison on the lowest level. Just to explain as well, they live underground because there was an apocalypse. I don't remember entirely what happened, but the surface of the earth was not habitable anymore, so people had to go underground, and cities and all of that were underground. And on the lowest level, there was a prison. It's where our main female main character is. So she's in prison because of a book, or was it like a song sheet? I don't remember entirely, but because of an artifact. And she meets our main male character, which is a prison guard. So far, really interesting, right? Amazing. And I don't know, let's say that all of this does not lead you to what they said in the end. In my opinion. It ruined it for me. Okay, maybe for some people, it made it even better. I don't know. For me, it made it totally worse. And made me not want to continue. If you read the book, please let me know if you think the same, or if for you it was totally fine, or you didn't care, or made you like the book even more. I don't know. Just let me know, please. I really want to know. Then, new favorite author. I gotta say Helen Scheuerer, because I started her Legends of Tensmar series. I don't know if I'm saying this correctly. I am so sorry. I started her series this year, and I'm on book 3. And the ones that I'm missing are book 4, and then her new series, which is the first book is called Iron and Embers, and I'm absolutely loving them. I think the plot is amazing. It's slow burn if you're interested. This series in specific, I don't know about the Embers, Irons and Embers yet. So I'm talking about this series alone. I gotta say that after I read the first one, I wanted to go to the gym like every single day. So I felt like really empowered. And I would say it's an amazing read, to be honest. I'm looking forward to reading the last book in the series because I really like it. And so I think she is my new favorite author so far. A book that made me cry. I would say Mistborn, but I've already mentioned that as the biggest surprise. So after Mistborn, I'm probably gonna say Onyx Storm. I don't think the other books made me cry. I'm checking to see. I think I did cry with City of Gods and Monsters, but it was a dog type of situation. You know what I mean? So yeah, Red Rising, I did not cry. I did get emotional in the Assassin's Blade, but I did not cry. I gotta say Onyx Storm because it already has an impact, an emotional impact. And then with that part of the end, I think if you know the series, I can't go into like really deep into it because it's already the 3rd book in the series. I can say that it was the part with Imogen and her best friend that made me sob. Next book tag is a book that made me feel powerful. I can't say Blood and Steel again, but it was Blood and Steel. I told you I wanted to go to the gym like immediately. Well, I can't say because that award was for the author, not a book. Okay, if it counts, it is Blood and Steel for sure. It's an amazing book and very very powerful, empowering. If not, book that made me feel powerful. Well, I'm probably gonna say one of the other 2 books in the series. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the 3rd one, Fate and Furies. I'm gonna go with Fate and Furies. Between the 2nd one and the 3rd, the 3rd one made me feel more empowering. Made me feel more powerful. She has a journey that she does on her own. She has to fight for herself. She's stubborn. Best audiobook. I'm between Red Rising and 1984. Well, I think they were the only audiobooks. No, that's a lie. I also heard or read Morning Glory Milking Farm in audiobook. I'm gonna give it to Red Rising because it's more complex, it's a bigger story, has more characters, and more action. So I think it deserves to win best audiobook. But second best audiobook, 1984. It's a 2-hour audiobook. So if you were ever thinking of reading a classic or specifically this book, go with the audiobook if you're afraid to just pick up the book and read. The audiobook is amazing. Then, book with magic I wished I had in real life. Does it have to be magic? Because there was this, I don't know what it was. Well, I guess it's magic. There was this power or ability in Red Rising where you could learn things overnight. Like they would put something in your head and you would process that information overnight and then you would learn everything. I would want that. But I've already gave best audiobook to Red Rising. I would probably also give it to Mistborn because of the Allomancers. You could like throw a coin and jump, but I already gave Mistborn the biggest surprise. I'm gonna go with Slaying the Shadow Prince. And I would be a shadow wielder. So I would prefer the other skills, but if I can't give that award to the other two, I would say then Slaying the Shadow Prince. And I would be a shadow wielder. Book, I want a creature from. I know. It's not read yet, though. And it's not on the list. Maybe I should have put it on the list. But since I haven't finished yet. But I am currently reading, so I'm going to put it. I'm going to put it here. The Night and the Moth. So that is my current read by Rachel Gillick, I think. This book has a gargoyle that will make you laugh. This character has main character vibes, a bit naive, but also very, very nice and very sweet. I would like a creature like the gargoyle from The Night and the Moth. Okay, and the last one is best book so far. This is a hard one. This is a very hard one. Blood and Steel is a nominee for best so far. I think Mistborn is also a nominee. I'm gonna go with Mistborn. I think Mistborn was more intriguing, more political. It had more depth to it, in a way, than Blood and Steel. That is my answer. We have a winner. Mistborn is the best book so far, for me. That was mid-year's book tag. I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to know your answers to these tags. So if you want, just leave it in the comments and I will go through them. And maybe you will add some books to my TBR. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you want to stick around, please subscribe. And if you don't, thank you for watching anyways. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!